Hello, everyone. It is 6:30. So,
Yep.
hit the what you call it. Can you hear it?
I cannot.
Did you hear the thing?
I don't hear it. I hit it though.
Turn the speakers on back now. Let me see something. It is going.
It's going?
Yep.
I see a waveform, so I figured.
Okay.
You guys open, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I got it. As long as it's going.
Now, I don't know if we should we be hearing that through here?
You should, but I'll figure that out. Don't worry about it. As long as you're hearing on the radio, it's fine.
But you can't hear it though, can you?
No. But I'm not worried about it. As long as you're hearing it, it's
But
on
you
the
need to
radio.
know when the thing is moving over though.
I can see it.
Okay. You know something? That wouldn't have anything to do with
I'll
that.
figure it out. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
As long as it's playing on the air, I'm not too worried about
Now
it.
remember, you got to push the button. You got to push the button down
Yep.
and the talk. You need to let us know because this is going to be behind us.
Hold on. Something is wrong.
Are we there? Ooh, are we there? Hey everybody, this is Rick McCain on Let's Stay Together Talk Show.
Hold on. That's not. Hold on. Go now.
Hey, this is Rick McCain on Let's Stay Together Talk Show. How you doing? I'm hearing some vibrate.
An echo.
You all there?
I turned you back off. I don't know why you're echoing.
Hey, this is Rick McCain on Let's Stay Together Talk Show. How you doing?
Is that how it sounds?
It just sounds like. Hey, can you guys hear me out there? We're doing another test thing here. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. I'm hearing some vibrate for some reason. Hey, it's kind of loud. Hey, so this is Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, Alta Brenda McCain. That thing is real loud, so you can turn it down. So we're doing something a little different. I'm not on the mixer and stuff like that, and so we're real loud. So turn that volume down over there. Maybe it'll go down there. You see the white button in the middle? Right there. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, there you go. So that's much better. So, everybody, Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, Arthur Brenda McCain. That is still a little loud, so if you can turn it down just a little bit more. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. Learning new things, hanging out with you too, trying to see where I could fit in, where I could get in.
Yeah, but I think the volume is still a little loud, so I don't know if you got to change it over there.
The waveform looks fine to me.
I mean, because it is real loud. Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it is really loud. Maybe it's just because
Got
I'm
the
listening to
ear.
it in the speakers.
Because
So-
you're talking loud.
Well, I'm talking normal. So, everybody, just thank you very much for being on the show today. We're going to be doing something a little different, as you can see, for those of you all on Facebook. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say, Tracy is not with us. She is usually social distancing, but she's not with us today. And also, we're just going right into it. So go right into it. I just want to make sure that the people in Radio Land, thank you for joining us. And the people in Facebook Land, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I think what I can do is maybe turn these things down on
Yeah,
there,
I think
too.
that's just your audio.
Yeah, it's my audio. So whichever one this thing is on, kind of pull it down. I don't know which the cord is. Do you know which one my cord is? I'm trying to grab this.
Keep doing your show.
Yeah, trying to drive that. So, I mean, we're doing something different, and I'm not speaking today. I'm not actually on the mixer, but hey, everything is going to be fine and groovy, like they used to say in the 70s. It's a little bit strange for me too because usually I'm right there on the board and I know what we're going to be talking about. But we're going to talk about some good subjects today. What's my word for 2021? Everybody always needs some of this old song that goes, "I need a word from the Lord. I need a word from the Lord." So I think every time a New Year's resolution, people be looking for a word. They want a word that can catapult them into 2021. It changes their life when they are able to have a different perspective via a word or a scripture. So we're going to be talking about that today. And also, I mean, if you have not lived anywhere on earth, you would not know about this subject. But if Donald Trump and the situation that happened at the Capitol,
Hill.
thank you, Capitol, it has just become a very big problem that people are dealing with, and we just need to understand that. I don't know if Facebook people, if you're out there, let us know. I'm not seeing any names or anything out there.
Kenneth just joined us. Hey, okay. Kenneth Jarrell.
Hey, so Kenneth is out there. I'm not seeing the names or anything like that on there, so the people joining. So we'll check that out. I am burning up in this top that I got on here too. But we're going to be talking about that. Baby, you got anything else you want to say? I know Tracy's not going to be here. She's on assignment somewhere. What'd you say, on assignment?
Yeah, she's on assignment. Just want, everybody to be patient with us as we get this show rolling today. It's going to be another interesting one. And we will appreciate all that feedback. Kenneth, thank you again, like I said, on the air for joining us. But if you got something that you want to say regarding the topic, make sure you comment in for he said hello family, for we all could discuss it, because we don't want you guys to think that we're not reading your comments, which we are, and the people in radio land, we're just going to share everything with you all the way through, for you won't feel left out as well.
Yeah, and so like I was saying, we'll talk about the Trump thing and got a nice relationship letters coming up. Brenda's going to do her thing with the relationship letter in Club 50. And then we'll have again the best of theater. So
make sure you're eating that mic.
I'm eating, so I'm a little bit low. Okay, so I gotta get loud. I thought I had a bigger mouth. I could hear me through here. But what I was gonna say is that we're talking about on Christian Real. Christian Real today is going to be talking about what's my word for 2020. That's what our Christian Real is going to be about today. Shout out to Soar Radio and all of our sponsors on the radio show. We thank you all for continuously being out there. We're praying for the theater part. The theater district is really still black, and it's going to be black probably for the entire 2021, at least until sometime in fall. So we got to pray for all of them. But our Christian Real, Brenda, what I've noticed a lot of times is that in resolutions, Christians don't typically make resolutions, but they look for a word. A lot of churches, they'll say, we're going to be true in 2002 or something like that. They try to put some kind of, I would say, look like jingle, but everybody wants to have a word or something that they can start with. And I just wanted to talk about that because I believe that a lot of times when people are looking for a word, they need something that they can fall back on or be a part of, so it gives them encouragement and allows them to move forward with a feeling of prosperity and hope.
Okay, well, if you're going to ask me what's my word?
I didn't ask you that.
I know you're going to ask, and we got some responses on that, which I want to share.
So tell me what you think about that, with people basically thinking that they have to have that word, to start off their new year.
It helps. It's sort of be like a blueprint or something that you could stay focused on. And yes, that's old school. Most Christian and most people do say, I just need a word or sermon from the preacher, but I need a word to propel me into the new year. And most people from January and February, they work on their word. And I know my word for the new year is peace. Peace be still. I've been manifesting it, putting it in my spirit, praying over it, and just to know that God is still in control. Peace over the earth, in the world. All the stuff that we're going through, the turmoil, the unsettlement, just peace for the year 2021. Peace within my heart and my soul, just to keep me grounded, because there's so much going on. And that is just, like you said, a word. My word is PEACE, for I don't have to get a PIECE and learn how to use it. Because the thing is, the way the world going in the next few days, they say it's about to get really crazy. So all you can do is pray for peace, and not just for the inauguration day.
So we're really going to be praying for your peace when you have to say that you don't
Yeah.
want to get a peace. So we're gonna be putting some holy water on you.
Sprinkle it on me.
And I mean, and it's great. I mean, you're taking a word, a literal word, and using it that way. And I know people will do that. And some people will probably grab a scripture: "No weapon formed against me shall prosper." That will be their word for the day. You know, their word or scripture for today. But I'm gonna go back with what you're saying, because people usually do try to find a word that they can use, but usually that word will have something involved around a scripture. So when they say peace, they're like, "Peace be still." The peace of the Lord passes all understanding. People look for words that they can use that can help them to go through the year. But why is it? I'm asking you that. Why is it that we look for a word to help us when we have the word of the Lord?
It's the easy way to do it. And so some people don't delve into the Bible and read it to understand the scriptures. They just take the quick way out. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but as I say, sometimes we as people are the living word, the Bible. We are the walking Bible for some people to see and some people to grasp on. So if someone see that peace within someone else, they want to know, where are you getting at in this world of turmoil? Where are you coming from being so peaceful? I mean, all the chaos around us, Rick, you're peaceful with it because you know who your God is. And so I want people to see me. And that was a joke with the peace, but you get my message. I want peace. And when you say, most people are literal though, when you say give me a word, unless and I hate to say, because these people that gave me the answer, they're church related people too, but they came up with a word that sums up probably the scriptures that they was going through.
So what do you get from those words of the people that you have?
Okay, Michelle Chambers says righteousness. Her word for the year is she wants righteousness. Theodore, Dr. Theodore said kingdom. And the thing, those are our, we want kingdom. And I'm looking at all of my I want peace. They want kingdom and righteousness. We are spiritually bound because we know where all of our help come from. It's not like, oh, my word is money this year. If you're saying it from God, he knows everything, and he's going to help you with everything throughout the year.
Yeah, and I mean, when they say money, the word that they use is prosperity, or wealth, increase. I'm looking for God to increase my territory. But when we choose these words, this is what I want to say. When we choose these words that we want for the year, especially if you're a Christian, you have to make sure that that word is in line to what God wants for your life and the word of God. You can't ask God for something that's outside of the word of God and then say, I want this, and you're not following God's word for your life. And a lot of times somebody will say, I want prosperity, I want increase, but they're not increasing their knowledge of God. They're not increasing their studying. They're not increasing their reading habits. They're not increasing anything, but they want something from God to increase. But in order to receive that, you've got to do some things that is in line with God to receive that increase. Yeah. So if I'm asking for prosperity, I can't be a person that doesn't tithe. It's like, okay, so you're asking God to give you more money, but the word says that I'm supposed to tithe and I'm not tithing. And so I think, I'm probably going to make a lot of people atheists right now, but you've got to understand that if I ask you, Brenda, I'm just going to say, Brenda, can I use your car? And I drive your car and I don't put any gas in it. then you're going to say, this is an example, you're going to say to me, Rick, you can't drive my car anymore. And the reason why you're going to say that is because I didn't follow what you need. You got to use my car all the time, but you're not going to put any gas in it. And so if that is the case, if I keep on using something, I can't say anything else but car because you don't have anything. I'm not going to ask you, can I use your lipstick? I mean, I'm not going to ask, can I makeup? So I'm using the example of car to basically say this. If you keep on, Rick, you keep on taking my car and you're not putting any gas in it, then I'm not going to allow you to use my car anymore because you're not doing anything but taking from me. And so when we ask God for a word, it has to be in line with what God has for our lives. And that's how a lot of times we get upset, because what happens a lot of times is people ask for that word, 2020 word. 2020 is, we got to forget about 2020. Whatever word you have for that, COVID just knocked it out. But just say 2020, I asked God for an increase and I didn't get it. We start getting mad because we think God didn't answer our prayer. And yet we didn't know the word of God to know that if what we ask for, God will give us.
But you're saying a key point. A lot of people don't understand how it works. And see, you're doing a breakdown for it. A lot of people just thinking, well, especially babes in Christ, I'm praying and everything, and I'm asking God for this, but I'm not giving up anything yet. They don't understand the dynamics of the more you give, the more you receive. That if you're a devout Christian, if you tithe and trust that God will cover you, you will get a tenfold back. You gave your 10%, well, he'll give it 100% back. So, like I said, it's a concept to it that a lot of people don't get. And so when you say a word during the year or whenever, people would just say, I want this, I want that, I want that. But are you studying the word? Are you praying? Church goes beyond the four walls. So you could still be a spiritual person, a loving person, and not be in the church like what we are now. A lot of people just stopped, because they figure the four walls define them. So if you're looking for a word, and not just on Sunday from the pastor to give you a word, give your own self a word that you could live through for the other 6 days until you get back with the pastor. So I agree with you for saying, what is your word for 2021? And a lot of people might be stuck with that. It's just to survive. And anything simple, but it's like, let it be something that you could really pray on and see God's works with it.
Yeah, and there's an old song, you can't be God's given no matter how you try. New babes in Christ, who will just ask God for something. It's not to say that God is not going to supply all your needs according to his riches and glory, and you don't have to give to God for God to have grace and mercy for you. So some people might just be looking for you to peace. Well, when you're looking for peace, you can't be a person that causes confusion. You've got to be able to be someone who is looking for peace as well. And so if I'm looking for prosperity, I can't be someone that's gonna hold back my money and not do anything. Some people just looking for, they want to just make it through. I mean, when you hear somebody say that, 2021, I just want to make it through the year. That is a person that's dealing with, a lot of things. And so when we ask for these words, what's my word for 2021? It has to be something that, one, you really need to move forward in Christ. Because it becomes just a resolution when it has no biblical background to it or backing to it. Because I can just say, I'm just looking for, my word this year is new home, which is more than a word, but or home. I'm looking for a home. I'm looking for a house. Okay, well, how are we going to get to that? What are we doing? I can remember one time that when me and you got married, I was asking God, and the company I was working for, I was asking that God would double the stock because we had stock options, and because we was getting married, I wanted to get you a nice ring, and going to get vacation and stuff like that. And we were looking for a house at the same time, and so I was asking God, that He would double the stock, and I kept on praying for that. not only did God double the stock, the stock broke 4 ways, and I walked out with $25,000 for our wedding expenses. So we said, get you a nice ring, get a house, get it furnished, and everything else, because God will,
He will provide.
He will provide for you. But the thing of it is that, you have to be, involved and understanding and listening to God and honoring God and talking to God and worshiping the Lord, so God can have a reason to bless you. I think a lot of times people think, because, as I usually say, sometimes people think God is an I Dream a Genie bottle. We just, rub it and look for 3 wishes and we put them back. That's not the biblical way of doing things. But we also need to make sure that our word that we ask for is not something that's going to be divisive to someone else.
You have to be steadfast. So every time I say that word, I think about the Tin Man. But you have to be steadfast and faithful. And because things doesn't work like the I Dream about Dream a Genie or the microwave syndrome, that you put it in there, nuke it, and it's warm, you have to have faith and trust that what I'm praying for and what I'm believing my word to be for the year will manifest every day. If you don't, even if you don't see it, it's not that God is not going to bless you with what you're requesting, but it's just the fact that, you have to be patient enough to be able to do what you need to do. And so, like I said, a lot of people don't have that patience to go through anything with that. So that's what I'm saying. For the word with Christian Real, for the word for what is your word out there? I know I read off a couple of people that joined us tonight. Let us know, what's your word for the year that you really praying and hoping, whether it's a scripture or a singular word, that you're praying that God will see you through with something.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's a great thing to have a word or a scripture to live by. But when you do that, keep in mind that when we do this, and I'm just saying this for the people who will put that out there and won't follow it. It's not a resolution. It's not 30 days you stop and you're done. It has to be something. A word is something that you live into your heart and your spirit and your soul, that you're going to allow to be a part of your existence. It's like the air that you breathe. It has to be something that moves you and shakes you. Even when you're down and you're feeling depressed, you fall back on that word. I remember that I asked God for peace. And because I asked God for peace, everything else in my life has to be still so God's peace can rest in my life. And that means you too, because there's going to be some times when you're looking for that peace and you're going to be upset with somebody, or you're going to be tired of something, or you're going to be mad at somebody at your job, or you're going to be frustrated that the train left before you got there, or your car is not working the right way. When you start speaking that, when they say life and death is in the power of the tongue, when you start speaking it into existence, you've got to be concerned about the things that are going to try to attack you, which even sometimes will be yourself.
Yeah, and I do know, is when you brought up this topic, I literally went to God and said, what would be a good word for me that will help me grow throughout the year? And the first thing that came to my mind that he instilled in my mind was peace. You need to be surrounded with peace. You need to have peace within your heart. And once you didn't put it out there, it never fails. Satan is ready to attack. It's like, she wants some peace. I'm about to disrupt her world and see if she's going to continue to have faith to trust in God to get that peace.
Right, because let me tell you something. As soon as you start speaking that word in existence, then that attack comes. Sometimes it'll make a person say to themselves, maybe this wasn't my word for this year.
Make them want to switch over.
Everything has been so unpeaceful. I've been having so much problems with headache. You're going to be like, Diana Ross and be singing Good Morning Heartache. Here we go again. You've got to know that has to be a part of your life. The air that you breathe, it has to be a part of your soul, your spirit. You've got to walk with that. Let me tell you something. There's some times that if God didn't give me some peace through some of the things that I went through in my life, I would have lost my mind by now. But his peace that passes all understanding, I needed that peace of God, to be able to make it through. I mean, there were some times, we're always real on our show where, I didn't have a job, didn't know how we was going to pay the bills, and I was going to lose my mind with how many bankruptcy letters was coming to the house and trying to figure out how we're going to do something. The only thing that helped me was that word, peace. It helped me to be able to make it through when, as another song says, for those of y'all who know I love songs, when everything else fails, I can go to the rock. That word has to now be your rock. It has to be your connection with God. That every time something goes wrong, you remembered, I asked God for peace. I asked God for wisdom. I asked God for grace. I asked God for mercy. Every time. And some of you all, let me just say this, and God is putting it in my mind. Some of you all, your 2020 word needs to be what you're going to do for someone else.
And you're right about that, because I do feel as though someone told me the other day that they always see me as being a very peaceful person. And we was joking about it, and he said, I bring peace to them. And that's the sweetest compliment to me, that in this world of chaos, what we going through, they feel as though they could talk to me and I instill peace with them. So like I said, I just love that fact. And I didn't even think about, okay, that's how I make somebody feel when I was praying to God. And he just laid that right there on the board for me. Peace is your word for this year. This is what you need to instill within your soul. This is what you need to help to give other people, for they could have some peace. Because, like I said, peace within this household, outside of this household, my friends, anything I could say to help them get through their trial times, then that's what I'm doing. But what is your word today? Because I see you playing off of the peace. But what is your scripture word?
I don't have a word, My, and another thing of peace, thou will give you perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. Mine has always been, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all other things will be added unto you. So it's my word is honor, just to honor God in everything that I do. But I'm going to go back to something, because I was saying to people, you need to have a word for someone else, because your word might need to be for 2021 forgiveness. You may need to forgive somebody in 2021. You may have to yours might be just sacrifice. You might have to sacrifice to help someone this year. You might have a word of reconciliation. There's been someone that you haven't talked to in years, and you need to reconcile with. So your word, it's my word for 2021. But when you start speaking that word, God is going to say, well, what about reconciliation? I know you want. I'm just using Brenda's word. It has nothing to do with Brenda. I know you want peace, but what about reconciliation? What about mercy? What about forgiveness? Those are the words that you need to have. And so we need to make sure that we have a clean heart, so God can renew a right spirit in us. And if we have a heart where we're just looking for something, but yet we have an oath against our brother, or oath against our family members, we have to make sure that we go to the altar, clean that up, and then come to God and say, I'm looking for peace. Because if you can't look for peace and you're causing destruction, God is going to sit there and say, okay, I don't have a problem with you in that peace, but what about peace with, this person? What about peace with that person? What about the peace with someone else in your life?
Is the HE double hockey sticks allowed to say on the radio?
Hell, yeah.
Okay, if you're a hell raiser and you're looking for peace, I think you need to really look within yourself and ask God to help you stop bringing the peace to people. So, because I know some people, they're like that. They always start in some chaos, some mess. But it's like, but I want some peace. I want this. I'm tired of what's going on. Look within yourself for what you're asking for, people. I mean, it's hard. It's not as hard as we are making it. Because the only thing I do know is once you put it out there, Satan is ready to attack. And he knows your weakness and he's going to attack you. Like I already know, I'm asking and I'm seeking peace. He's going to throw some arrows at me, but I'm going to have my armor of God with me because every morning I get up and do my praying and my reading of the word. And my mother gave me this beautiful little scripture book with a different scripture every day. I meditate on that scripture, which helps me every day. So my word again is peace for 2021 in every aspect, from internal peace, marital peace, financial peace, the world peace, everything out there. Peace, just be still.
Hold off on that world peace. You got into the 20th before we get world peace.
Well, yeah.
Trump's got to be gone before we get there.
But I really, that's a whole nother subject. But I really don't think we're going to get no peace no time soon, even with him in office. So.
Even with him out of office, you mean?
Even with Biden in office.
Oh, yeah, well, it'll be more peaceful. How about that?
From him,
it'll be a bit more peaceful. I mean, that person's still going to be out there causing havoc. And we got to talk a little bit about that as well. But I'm going to get LP Productions. He's going to be playing some music for us. I believe one of the songs we're going to be playing is I Need a Word from the Lord. So you're going to hear that in a second. LP Production, you ready to put that auto DJ on there? Or?
No, I sure hope so.
Okay, so let's see. What he gonna do here. And this is Rick McCain along with my baby, my girl, my boo, Arthur Brenda McCain. Tracy Brown Howard is she's social distancing and she's on assignment. You're gonna listen up to this music and we right back. For those of you all on Facebook, stay with us because we got some great topics. Do your thing.
Don't get shook on 2020. Be ready to kick off the new year with Rev Rick, BGB, Brenda, a.k.a. Betty Shabazz, and Sister Soul, Tracy Brown
TV.
Howard.
Make sure it's coming through Soul Radio.
LSTT Podcast. Let's stay together, talk.
Did you hit enable? I had to come over there.
No, I hit it. Is it not coming through Soul Radio?
I don't know. You don't hear it on there anymore, huh?
No, I never heard it on here.
I just heard it. Does that?
I know. Hit Soul Radio. Make sure.
I'm gonna listen to it right now.
Cool, because I want to sit here in silence if it's not playing. I mean, I hit it.
Why is this?
I hit all the buttons.
It's on.
It's on. All right, cool. Yeah, then do your thing. Yeah, I'm good. I don't need to know as long.
You're not gonna hear it on there.
I don't need verification as long as you guys are good.
So hey everybody, welcome back. Here we are on the thing. Here, Brenda's gonna be reading off some things we're gonna talk about to you guys on Sora Radio on Facebook. And so, what's the topics you're gonna be talking about?
This one gets me. I'm speaking anything. Markham woman furious after she pays Home Depot contractor to build fence gets caught up in red tape. Now, for those of you who don't know, when you go to Home Depot, Menards, Lowe's, they have a selection of outside contractors to do the work. And sometimes you have to do your due diligence on your part because these contractors have a deal with those particular stores to tell them, get your money 100% up front. Now, this lady is a grandmother of a puppy, and she thought, oh, it would be beautiful just to have a white picket fence, which is showing behind me, gone LP Productions. She had wanted to have a white picket fence to keep the dog in, and he could have a secure place to run and play, and she could do her fish fries. She paid the person who was supposed to do her fence that she got from Home Depot $10,000, which they tell you not to pay that up front. Never pay all the money up front, and that's showing back there's Peerless, the company that she went through. They didn't have their license with Markham. So therefore, she couldn't get the fence put up, even though she didn't dished out her money and everything. So she went to the Markham. I don't know why I can't get that right. She went to the Markham's courthouse, and they said that the license was never filed. So of course she didn't know this. She thought if Home Depot had these people representing them, that everything was in order. So unfortunately, she got caught up in some red tape and had to go through a whole slew of things to get her money back from Peerless Construction Company. Sad, but like I said, when you doing this, you just think, oh, good, they have all these different people. I could just choose a card, Rick, and do what I need to do. You got to do your due diligence in the end, too.
Your phone.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
I'm still trying to figure out some things. You know?
That we
I'm
ain't
talking
on
with
the
Bill.
air?
I was saying, where's that music coming from? It's coming from my phone.
Okay.
So, yeah, you know, here's the thing that's interesting. Wow, $10,000 for a...
Up front.
Up front. I mean, you know, they tell you continuously, and I'm a credit analyst. I've been doing this for almost 30 years. They tell you all the time, never pay the full amount. So I'm surprised and actually a little bit disgusted with Home Depot that they told this person that they had to pay the full amount up front. I mean, maybe because she didn't have the credit to do that, but when you usually...
She said they didn't have a problem with giving her the credit.
Well, they didn't have a problem. Obviously, didn't have a problem taking off a credit card. She had $10,000 there. But typically, they tell you to pay about half of it, and then the other half of it worked. Now she done paid all of this money. Hello to Cassie Graham that's out there as well. All of these people out there, you know, she's paid this money, and now she didn't pay this money, and they can't find the person.
It's really sad that you have to go through that, because like I said, she was so excited. Got a new puppy, grandbaby, she, you know, grandmother to a puppy, whatever she called it. I'm gonna get this nice fence, and I didn't know fences cost that much to put up. That's a lot of money.
It depends on the fence. I know I need to get me a fence put up myself too, and I don't hear anything playing. There we go. I need to get me a fence put up too, and I ain't paying no $10,000.
She must have had a lot of land.
She must have had a lot of land to put that fence up. But I mean, I'm just shocked and I'm dismayed. Now, Home Depot is not helping her out with this at all, I guess, huh?
Actually, Home Depot, only thing they were more for the construction company. Get your money up front, which I am so shocked that they're saying that, because it's like they didn't even have. But I guess they figure if a person's gonna do this, make sure you have all of your stuff in order. And they didn't even check to make sure the people that we have representing us that their stuff is in order. So it really wasn't Home Depot fault, it was the company's fault.
See, what I know about Home Depot, and the same thing that Menards do, is they have a list of contractors that you can work with. I did not know that you would have to go through Home Depot to get the work done. So that's a little bit shocking to me, but typically they tell you all the time, don't pay but half of the amount down. I was and dealing with sometimes with contractors, you don't give them cash. You know, a check is, I mean, if you can do it from a credit card or a debit card and you give that money to people, that's better. Cash, you just don't give to people because you're going to have a hard time to impossible to get that back, even with a receipt. A check you can get back, but it takes a little bit longer. But if you put that thing through your credit card or your debit card, your bank can get that money back right away. So be very careful when doing that. And I am a little bit shocked with Home Depot that they didn't help her out.
Home Depot confirms it requires customers to pay its contractors in full before any of its work is done.
So that
but
means,
they did not explain why.
That means don't go through Home Depot, okay? Because that doesn't make any sense. What's our next story you got for us?
Let's see.
Let's see. How we doing on the music?
Okay. What is going on with my lips being chapped? Capitol insurrection, FBI zeroing in on 10 to 15 cops and criminal investigation of the riot. That's crazy. Yeah. It seemed like a whole setup, that inside job, something like out of a movie when you think about it. A couple of movies that we might have seen like that. Because why, and I still say, why didn't they have better control? Why wasn't there more cops? And the fact of the matter of, how did these rioters know exactly where to go inside of Capitol Hill to certain people's offices? And we're blowjos here. We could go in Capitol Hill. We wouldn't know where Pelosi office is at. But they went right up to it, took a seat, took a mail, read a mail, took the podium. I mean, it was just crazy. But they saying that hey, we're investigating these people because the videotape's showing something different, and the fact that some of them sort of led people in there, and then they giving them the benefit of the doubt, saying maybe, just maybe, they feared their life and they just stepped aside. I don't buy that.
Well, let me just say this. One, Nancy Pelosi's office does have a sign out there that says it's Nancy Pelosi's office. It's not easy to find, so there's probably an inside job because they was basically saying a lot of those offices in the Capitol was like trying to find a maze. It's very hard to find
Forgive me for doing
most of the locations. But there was the Democrat majority whip's office. He doesn't have a sign or anything in there, and yet they found his office and tore up stuff. So they do believe that there's a lot of inside work in there. They have they've suspended 2 officers. I think fired 1 right now because of that, and they got some more people they're going to look for. They do believe that some of these officers there at the Capitol did help to get some of the people to different locations. They were looking for Pence officers, and the sad thing about it is that they're supposed to be there to protect. If they would have caught any one of those people, because they were looking for Pence and they were talking about hanging them, you don't know if this would have happened or not. But literally to say something like that is kind of unnerving.
This is, like I said, this is really getting scary. People pay attention when you're out in the next couple of days, because no matter what, they had said something earlier that they're going to be in every state leading up to 16th to the 20th, leading up to the inauguration day, to start chaos and to riot, but mainly in the area downtown or the certain cities and stuff, major cities. That's where they're going to be. But you never know if they want to venture out to the west side, which I know if they have any common sense, they wouldn't. The west side or the south side, just be alert, because it's about to go down crazy.
Well, I mean, one of the things about it, people of color are looking at this a lot because they're very appalled at the fact that these people can go into the Capitol, which is a federal offense, and then just walk out like nothing happened. Just recently, they just said in Wisconsin that the cop that shot Jacob Blake 7 times, he's not going to be charged for anything. And that's not coming through here.
It is. That's the weird part. It definitely is. It's coming through. It's coming through on Soar Radio, but it's not. It's coming through the TV for some reason. I have no idea why, and I'm not about to.
Coming through the TV.
Yeah. Okay. The monitor is a speaker. So
Yeah.
for whatever reason, on the left audio channel's coming through the speaker monitor, but it's still coming through on Soar Radio.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just let it rock for right now.
So I need to find out
And
what
just
that's
play
happening.
I'll figure it out later. Don't worry about it.
But as long as it's coming through here, people can hear it. I just want to know, if the people on Facebook, I'm not even getting on my Facebook page over here to see anything. You able to see everything? Why can't I get it on the phone?
I
That's how I'm
checked.
responding.
It's fine. Everything's
Yeah, as long as everybody can hear that, that's fine. Because I'm like, where's that music coming from?
It's coming from the.
Yeah, but I'm not
changed
seeing.
something, don't worry about it.
I'm just want to make sure that all of the Facebook people out there, because I'm not seeing some of my Facebook people.
Facebook, I see you. I'm responding to you as you have some comment out there. I'm responding to you. And like I said, you guys are being patient with us, but so far we are being smooth right now, and I'm loving this. So it's easy going and it's flowing.
So, that's the situation we're having right now at the Capitol, where, like I was saying, people of color are a bit upset about that because they're saying that if this would have been people of color, we might have been shot by now.
Oh, yeah.
Jacob Blake, I was saying, got shot 7 times. Police officer's not going to be acquitted. He's been acquitted. He's not going to be charged for anything. And yet people going to the Capitol, they tear everything up, cause violence, looking for somebody to hurt, and people just walk out. Now, they have arrested a lot of people, but the fact of the matter is, to allow them to even get into there, if that had been people of color, you'd have been talking about, 50 people have died and, 25 of them are wounded because of this, because they came close to the Capitol. And so, when we talk about the inequality or the racism that you have in the United States, this is just something that constantly shows that way of thinking that, there's an old saying, I'm going to leave you with this. It said, if you're white, you're all right. If you're black, you stay back.
Yeah.
And so that just
Or
seems
the
like
new saying, you got to be the right complexion for the connection.
well, that's not new, but it's a different one. What you
Well,
got?
we got enough time for another one, Philip.
You guys got like a minute left.
Oh, so really? So there should be some commercials coming on after
Yeah,
this.
you got like a minute of commercials after.
Okay, so that's the last song?
Yep.
Okay, so we may not be able to get that one in. Let's hold up to the next time we go in there. Hey, everybody. Hope you all are liking the changes. Everything looks like it's going through great. We have no drops. LP Productions is doing a good job right now. We might retain him.
Because that's what he do.
I mean, we were wondering about him for a while. I mean,
I wasn't
he
wondering.
was slipping and stuff like that. She wasn't one that she didn't know, but I was wondering about the brother. But he all right. I might keep him alone if he want to stay for a while. But it does feel very great to be on the other side and not have to worry about the board again. I haven't done that in like 3 years or something. It's been a minute, and it's like, oh my God, it feels so good. So now the one thing that he's going to have to remember is that thing is going to end before here, and you got to let us know that it's coming back on.
I'm watching. Don't worry.
So, because you can't hear it through the speakers, can you? The music.
I'm watching it.
Okay. You got to figure out why we can't hear through the
I can
speakers,
see it.
though.
We'll cross that bridge.
But so we're doing some great things here, trying to do some different things here. We're praying for everybody because it seems like this COVID thing is really attacking a lot of people. One of the ladies that was in quarantine when things happened. You okay? Was quarantined when things happened. She got COVID because some of the Republicans didn't want to put on their mask, and so she got COVID for being when it was in the Capitol, and they sanctioned them off because they didn't want anybody to get hurt. They put them all in one room and something like that. He had about 6 or 7 people in there. Most Republicans did not want to wear their masks, and one of the people there got COVID. So it's a shame that something like that can happen.
You just never know. Because that had to be horrific last week. Imagine you going to work every day thinking that's one of the most secure places. And that's the thing that get me. That and the White House supposed to be the top, and the Pentagon, the top 3 secure places ever. Mm-hmm. And you got caught up like that. That's why I'm like, that's scary.
It's not playing through the headphones. It's only playing. I'll let you know. Don't worry.
Okay. Because I just heard it somewhere.
It's on your phone.
Okay.
Are you still in commercial mode?
Yeah, you're still in commercial mode. Oh. You guys got 40 more seconds, or about 50 seconds of commercials.
About 50 seconds of commercials left. So, and I want to thank everybody. I was trying to get up there if I can share this thing with some people. I got to see if I can find it on my phone. But as you can see, you see another person in there with us. That's what we call LP Productions.
You know what? And we sure did. We did all that introduction.
You don't want to be introduced.
Well, I do want to give a shout out. 2 shout outs right quick to our nephew Philip for coming in and teaching us, upgrading us, and bringing us into 2021 with some style here to making us look all legit. So thank you, LP Production. And the other thing is shout out to Kenneth Jarrell's wife. Today is her birthday.
Hey,
happy birthday. And I have to remember to say it while we're back on the air. Hey. His beautiful wife turned 21, so that means you
guys are back on the air in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Stay Together show. Your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, Alta Brenda McCain. I'm hearing this little thing again. I'll push this back over here. So hopefully you all like that music. Just heard the song that says, I need a word from the Lord. All of us need a word from the Lord, but what is that word that you need? Make sure that word is in line with the word of God, and that word is something that you live throughout the whole year, that you live, breathe in your soul, that no matter what comes against you, no weapon formed against that word shall prosper. I'm going to give a shout out again to SOAR Radio, 2-time Stiller Award winner for Best Internet Station of the Year. I'm also going to give a shout out to sponsors. Even though theater has been dark, our sponsors have been, helped us out tremendously. So give a shout out to Eyeline Management. There's a couple of places. Got American Blues Theater.
Writers Theater, Goodman Theater. Yeah. I mean, I miss theater.
Goodman Theater has never sponsored us, but hello, Goodman Theater.
You did Victory Gardens.
Victory Gardens, Writers. So we've had some good places help us. Looking Glass is another place that's done there.
Yeah.
I got another email from someone that wanted us to read something off for them. I don't know if I got the information to do it today, but we're trying to help a lot of our sponsors. We know that they don't have the finances right now to do that, but they're doing some great things.
American Blues too.
American Blues. I say American Blues. So that's what we have. Stephen Best that comes on there sometimes and talks to us about things that we're doing in theater. They're still doing some things online. Theaters are showing things online. For those of y'all that don't know, if you've never listened to the show, me and Brenda are also theater critics. We see about 200, 250 plays a year. When theater was out, we're praying for all our theater people because we know this is a hard time for them as well. Let's go to our Let's Talk About It. Baby, what are we talking about today?
Okay, radio listeners and Facebook listeners, this is a good one. Lies, lies, lies. When do you stop supporting them? And so you're going to lead with this, and I'm going to hop on in.
So, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, for those of you on Facebook and also on the radio, there was a song that used to go, was it Lies, Lies, Lies? Yeah. It wasn't Lies, Lies, Lies. I thought it sounded like that, and I might be wrong, but I'm going to sing it that way. Lies, 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 yeah. What am I talking about? When do we stop supporting them? Like I said, if you've been under a rock lately, you know what's going on with Donald J. Trump. Some people's president. We call him 45. The insurrection that he has caused incited so much confusion and violence where people came to the Capitol. They came to Washington, D.C. just because he asked them to be there that day. And he told them to go to the Capitol and told them that they got to take back their country. He did not say break in, but he incited it so much that people went in there and broke down the doors. Some people get killed. I think 5 people got killed. Many got wounded. And there are companies now that are removing their support for him. You got a lot of companies that supported the president that are moving their support. A lot of them are removing their support for Republicans that stood up for this ridiculous thing where they were still trying to say that the election was rigged. That's what they were there at the Capitol for, to fight that. And even after people died, they still went on with this same ridiculous notion that the election was rigged in certain states. But even Deutsche Bank, the bank that he deals with, decided they're going to end their relationship with Donald Trump. And this is what I love. This is when you're doing something wrong. He owes them. He has a loan that's coming up in a couple of years. It's $383 million. That they're gonna say, well, the only way we can just clean the slates clean is just forgive the loan. I mean, my bank. I want y'all to hear this. We bank with Harris Bank. I'm gonna say it. I want y'all to just forgive my loan, just like they did for Donald Trump. I'm calling out there. Call those things that be not as though they were. I'm calling it out there. Harris Bank, forgive my loan, just like Deutsche Bank forgives Donald Trump's loan. But they have so many banks, places that are now stepping away from him, that are not supporting him anymore. And so I was thinking, what would it take for you, for someone in your life, be it a brother, sister, friend, mother, I don't know, what would it take for you that a person has lied so much that you would stop supporting them? That's what I'm saying now to the radio audience, to Facebook, and I'm going to let Brenda throw in her comments with it as well.
You know, when I was doing some research, I did not know that there were so many different forms of lies. You know, some people say it was just a little white lie. I told the lie because I wanted to keep a secret. Now, I get all of those things. They're as wrong as they could be, but the lies that get me is the compulsive and a pathological liar such as Trump. when someone is like that and they keep lying just for their own good, for they could manipulate you and benefit everything, don't care about your feelings, stuff like that makes you just say, okay, how much can you endure? Now, bringing it home into a relationship, it's hard, and I know it's hard when somebody just blatantly lie to you and tell you, hey, I'm on my way to the store, and then you find out 5 or 6 hours later they never made it to the store, they made it somewhere else. Lies like that make you, especially when you love a person, in a relationship, you love a person, and they're doing it, the consistent lies. I mean, they're being very consistent with it because they're believing their lies, but you're tired and you fed up. I think for me, what it would take something like that, like, okay, is he stepping out, fooling around, or doing something? The other stuff, minor stuff, you could deal with it. But lies in a friendship, and a person don't have your back and they going around lying on you, that's it for me. Because my thing is, don't lie on me. You ask me a question, I'm going to tell you the truth. If you don't want to know the truth, then don't ask me the question. But I'm not going to blatantly lie to you to make you feel good unless it's something that I know that's detrimental that will really hurt you. I would sort of skirt over it. But what it takes, as you said, to not support them anymore or leave them, it's just the fact that if you constantly lying and your lying is damaging and hurting other people in the process, I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah, and I'm loving this thing. It looks like you're a part of on here. It looks like you're a part of the banner, so it's kind of cute. Talking about on here.
Oh,
on
okay.
the Facebook thing, it's like, wow, you don't see a chair at all. So I mean,
let me move.
The lying is this, and I put it to everyone because there's a lot of people out there right now that are supporting someone that they know that has been lying for a long time. It might be, you got a husband or a brother or a sister that's lying about their drug addiction. They're lying about the abuse that they're doing to someone. It seems like what we have right now in Congress is that no matter how much this person lies, he's going to get the support of them. And it's basically due to the fear that he had like 71 million people vote for him. And they're concerned about those 71 million, as though for some reason Trump is going to leave the office and 71 million people are just going to follow his every whim. The Republican Party doesn't do that. They vote for the Republican. The person that they have there for the Republican Party, the next person, that's who they're going to vote for because they vote Republicans, just like Democrats. Biden wasn't the choice for a lot of people. But when he became the number one choice, they voted for him. So they're following him blindly because they're afraid of what he might do. And I think sometimes people support someone sometimes because they're afraid of what that person might do. I'm going to support my husband even though I know he's cheating on me because I'm afraid that he might leave me and I have nothing else. And so we have these situations where people support someone because of fear. And so I'm trying to deal with that a little bit.
And they had a lot of fear in the White House of him. To me, it just seemed like they act like he was God or something.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, to me, I'm just trying to find out, where is that fear or that support? When does it stop? Because I understand I'm going to support somebody because they got a drug habit and I'm trying to get them some assistance. But when do you stop that? But when that fear of supporting someone is a fear that you have inside of you, that if I don't do this, this person is going to lose their lives or something. Like, when does that fear of supporting someone ends? Here, the Republicans, they're afraid that if they don't support him, that the people are not going to vote for them the next time. And most of them shouldn't have to worry about that because they don't have to worry about being, their nomination for the next 2 years. So this is 2022. Who knows what Donald Trump is going to be in 22? I'm putting my money on the fact that he's going to be in jail. That's what I'm saying. Jail is what I'm saying. I'm putting all my money and my eggs in that basket. That's your word for 2021? That's my word for 21. Jail for Trump. I think that's what he's going to be at. But when you have a fear and you support someone out of fear, I'm not, and I really speak to sometimes when people who are being abused and they're supporting that abuser, how that works out. It's a very delicate thing, but you know that this person is going to tell you that I love you, I love you, I love you, and they're it's just lies, but yet we're supporting them out of fear. It's how do we deal with that fear that person that has, and they're supporting someone and they cannot pull away from that individual.
That's, what, when it comes to the domestic violence, that's a slippery slope because the person is afraid of that individual and they're living in fear. So on the outside, I could see one of my friends, it's a hypothetical situation. I could see one of my friends, she's bruised all up, and the only thing I could say is, girl, you got to get away from him. You got to get her. He no good. You got to move on. That's easier said than done in so many cases. And we're looking at, I don't believe she's still with him. She's supporting him. We don't know, what the individual person is thoroughly going through, but we do know that something's not right. So that's a whole nother show, the domestic violence thing. But it's not that they're supporting them. They're afraid of that person to leave that person. Now, when it comes to the individual supporting Trump, that's a whole different story. I think it went beyond the party, the Republican Party, of support. It was more of fear of what this man could do for me while I'm still on staff with him and when he get out of office. So, and the thing that gets me for Pence, I think how he turned around and just ripped this man that was his vice president. That was just the most embarrassing thing to me. You rip him for not doing what you think he should do publicly and says we would never be friends after this. And I bet the person have to look back and say, for 4 years, I tolerated this BS with this person for 4 years, and now what they say, the roost has came back to something. This is just
came back to nest.
Okay, because this is ridiculous. Though you supported his lies, you supported his scandal, you was right there with him, and for a narcissist person who tell the lies, when you stop supporting and agreeing with everything they say, they ready to cut your head off. And that's exactly what Trump is doing.
Yeah, and the thing that troubles me, and with the Trump thing is that the power that they gave him. All of the people out there at first were saying that most people said that Trump was a liar. The people he was running against called him a pathological liar. Cruz said you could never trust anything that he says. You had a lot of the people that supported him. Graham, said that Trump was a liar, and yet now they're supporting him, because of the power that he has. And so I changed this back around because I don't want it necessarily just to be about Trump. It's that dealing with supporting someone because they have power over you. A person that I'm supporting because if I don't, they may harm me. They may take something away from me. They may not love me. I mean, all those things like that, you've got to be very careful with, because when we know that someone is doing something wrong, or I would say lies, there needs to be a pulling away from that support from that person. What's happening right now with Trump is that in a large scale, a lot of people, a lot of companies, and a lot of people, and a lot of businesses are pulling away from him on a large scale because what he did today, just recently. But he's been doing a lot of these things wrong for a long time, and yet they didn't pull away from him. So these are people, and so we live in a world where people are afraid to pull away from somebody because of the power that that person has over their lives, and we have to come up with ways how we pull away from that power that that person has over us. That's going to be a good topic I can probably talk about next week as well. How do we pull away from that power that that person has over our lives? What do we need to do? What are the steps of what we need to do to pull away from that power? And I think the number one thing is recognize that that person has power over your life that is causing the fear. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times a person will say, oh, he don't really mean that. Well, he didn't really. It was a mistake. He didn't really want to say that. He didn't really want to do that.
See,
he didn't really
you saying that make me think. When a person find themselves in that situation, making excuses for that individual, he don't really mean that, or she didn't mean to say that. You need to wake up and pay attention to stuff, because if you find yourself in that situation, then it's more of what's going on that you want the world to know. Because one thing I know with Rick, he don't sugarcoat. And like I used to hate in the beginning of our marriage, if we had a disagreement, everybody would know it. It's just shown, which I'm a private person. I'm like, no, we need to talk about stuff at home than talking about it out in public. It's like, this is what it is. Let's get it out in the air. Whereas I see, and thank God we both learn each other and move beyond that. But for people to make excuses like that, well, he's normally nice, don't be upset with him. No.
So wait a minute. Are you trying to say Rick wanted his business out in public? Is that what you said?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's what you interpreted.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to bust a brother out on public radio? I mean, I know you ain't trying to, cause I ain't never want my don't start none, won't be none.
You're so crazy. Anyway, my point
did I miss that point? Because I thought
you missed the whole thing.
But I thought you said Rick wanted to talk about it. And you want to keep it
in the beginning. Me and you had our disagreements and stuff.
Okay.
Like in our first.
I don't know radio people. I gotta listen to that.
In our first few years of marriage, I was so private with stuff. It's like if we had a disagreement or something going on out in public, I would shut down so we could talk about this later. Rick will talk about it now, but we have grown beyond that. Not that you wanted our business out, because he used to always say,
I would bring it out in public. Like, we got to talk about this now. Like, that's what I'm doing now.
Like, we got to talk about doing that now. Whereas I'm selling a situation. Yeah. Anyway, the way our relationship, y'all know we keep it real on here, but the point of the matter is, when you have to make excuses for people like that, I always say pay attention, because it's not a good thing. It's leading into a toxic relationship, and you don't want that toxicity to be in your relationship, because once that comes, you're living a lie, and you don't want to live a lie.
Yeah. So LP Productions is hopefully gonna have that music together set up for us in a few minutes, but I do want to just continue on this, and I'm gonna bring this back up when to stop supporting them. We're gonna probably break this down to a series. I think I was supposed to be doing something with another one that I forgot to do that on. But when someone has power over you, you have to admit that you allow that power to exist. It's almost like a 12-step program when they say to an alcoholic, you must first admit you're an alcoholic. You must first admit that person has that power over you, or you allow that presence of power. I love how God does that. That presence of power to be over you. Because no one literally has power over you. You allow the presence. You can get away from a physical presence of power. I mean, there's some people that are trapped in a house and they can't. That's a totally different thing. But the presence of power the mental presence of power can destroy a person's ability to move forward. It depresses them. It takes away their courage. It takes away their stamina, their belief in themselves. And so that presence of power over you, you have to first admit that it's there. If that person has a presence of power, because what Trump has over the Republican people, or the Republican senators and congressmen, what do they call these congressmen, is that I lost what I was talking about. Is that presence of power? He makes them feel that he has a power over them, that he can even make or break their political career.
But they gave him that power, and that's the thing.
Does not the other individual give it? If there's a presence of power that a man has over the woman, doesn't she give him that presence of power?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess they do.
I mean, because that's what it is. It's that presence of power. And what they now have over him, what he has over them, which they're scared to death now, is that there's a presence of power that is over them. And they think that because of that presence of power, Trump can cause issues with their relationships. And so we have to first deal with the presence of power. What is that presence of power that a person has over you? I'm talking to some people out there, and I'm hoping the radio station is listening to it, and also to everybody else.
Steven said,
"Go ahead."
It's a cult, and he is a cult leader. It is shocking.
It is shocking.
You can sort of see it that way.
It is shocking, but it is a presence of power. I'm not going to talk about that long because I'm going to write this down now that I got some free time. Give me a pen. Now I got some free time. I'm really liking the fact that I can sit over here. I'm going to write down. I'm surprised Brenda didn't say anything about the fact that when I put down join us live now, I think join is spelled wrong up there.
I told you I'm doing peace right now. I seen it.
Yeah, she's seen it. I'm surprised she didn't say, that's wrong. The presence of power is going to be one of the things, that's going to be the part one that we're going to talk about, because you've got to admit the first step of pulling away or stop supporting someone who has control over you, that you're supporting. Because a mother doesn't realize that if she's supporting a child that doesn't want to work, there's a presence of power over her. There's a power of feeling, inadequate, or I didn't provide for him the right way, or I didn't give him all that she needs. That's a presence of power. It doesn't have to be the power that individual have over it. The Bible tells us we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities, powers, the darkness. There's a presence of power that can be over a mother, that she will enable her child to do whatever she wants to, because the presence of power, and that presence of power can be love. That love that I have for that child is a presence of power that they have over me, that because I love them so much, I allow them to do things. So we have to deal with what is that presence of power that reigns over me, that is allowing me to continuously allow this person to do something that I would typically not support.
That's a lot. The fact that since we're talking about in relationships, and there are some kids that know how to manipulate their parents and to get away with a lot of stuff, from the marriage to the children to the friendship. And one thing that I'm going to use a prime example of something. Love me some Netflix. Started rewatching Girlfriends again, and I used to love that show. And this time I'm paying more attention to it, that the friendship between the main characters, Tony and Joan, she had to realize that her girlfriend was needy of her. She had a power that she always felt as though, all she need me, I have to give her certain things. And to me, everybody kept saying, she's using you, she's manipulating you. And she didn't see it that way, because she'd been her friends all her life since they was like 5 years old. And that's the worst thing, when you in something that long and you don't see it, but the people on the outside could see, hey, something just don't seem right. You're more of the giver and she the receiver in a relationship, and you don't realize that you're stressing over this. And so the thing with Shelton Smith, favorite show, Girlfriends, yeah, it's a good one. But the thing is that when you're doing that, you have to have a balance in a friendship, in a marriage, even in the White House. Because see, the difference is, going back to the White House, he was a dictator. Some other presidents, they worked together as a team. It was the we factor. With Trump, it's the I did this. I'm making America. No, he was strategic with his word. We're making America great, as he strategized stuff. So when I'm going back to the lies on the whole realm, when someone is constantly lying like that, controlling your every move, your actions, how you feel, whether you want to stay with them or not, or if you're fearing them, it's time to cut the strings. And see, for them jumping ship now, you got what? Less than 8 days to go?
Yeah.
Why jump the ship now?
Yeah, but I mean, and the thing that we have to realize is that when that person has a presence of power over you, it's very hard to jump ship. There needs to be a step process to be able to step away from something that you're used to. It's almost like hard to, you was at a job for so long, and then you go to another company and you start another job. You're so used to the routine of that other job. It takes a while to get used to something else. Or you used to living with somebody for a long time and they're not there anymore. It's just it's hard to just change that presence And that can be a power over you because your mind will constantly say, I can't do this because the presence of power can be the past.
But you know what? Speaking of a job, this is interesting. What happens when you know, and I experienced this when I was working at the University of Chicago, when you know certain people are lying, and I'm talking about the higher up people, that they're lying and want you to co-sign on their lies because it benefit them. And they, you know, if you say something against them, you might get the pink slip.
Yeah.
So do you go by your integrity, your word, and say, I'm not going to be a part of it? Because my biggest thing is I'm not going to co-sign on anybody's lie.
Yeah. And so, I mean,
That might be where I'm not there
gotta go
now,
to our-
but
we
I'm
gotta
not
go
going
to-
to co-sign on that.
We got to go to our music in a few seconds, but I will say this. When you have something where someone that is in a position of power and they lie about something, it's the same thing. It's the presence of power that someone has over your life. You have to make the decision, again, what are you going to do to remove that power? In some cases, removing that power of authority that's over you can cause you to lose something. But the question is it worth losing something temporary that can be replaced, which is a job? And I want people to stop being afraid of a job. You know, if you're intelligent enough, if you work hard enough, you can find another job. We're afraid that we may not make the right amount of money, so we do certain things. We can't allow that to be something that's held over us. You might lose something temporary, but you don't want to lose your integrity by following someone who's doing something wrong, and you know that what they're doing that's going to not only negatively affect you, but others. That's what's happening to the White House. And it's a very difficult decision to make because sometimes a lot of people saying, well, you know, it's not happening to me, so why should I say anything? And you get into this situation. LP Production, you got that music ready over there?
Yeah.
So we're going to go into a musical break, and then we're going to come back with Stephen Best. I'm going to ask Stephen to probably call in about 5 minutes earlier this time. Stephen, I know you're out there. Call in 5 minutes earlier this time because we got you going through a different telephone number, so we want to make sure that we hook you up right. So I'm going to go and let this music play. Hey, this is Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, Arthur Brent McCain. Tracy Brown Howard's doing social distancing. Actually, she is on assignment right now. And we've got LP Productions helping us out here tonight. Listen up to these music. These songs, these music. And we'll be right back.
You guys are off.
All right. So, that's an interesting thing you got to look at is, that presence of power. I'm glad I'm sitting down there to start talking about that now.
You ready for me to go into this next subject?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, everybody. This next one got me a little perturbed here to the fact that I'm an African-American woman, and we have an African-American vice president holding the second highest office in the world. And I really do think that Vogue did her a disjustice on her cover. The thing that bothers me with this article I've seen, Kamala Harris casual Vogue cover caused a stir online. As I was reading it, I was thinking, well, it's not that bad until I read further. With her beautiful self gracing the cover of Vogue, and she even thought that the pictures, that picture that's showing on the screen right now is not the picture she thought would grace the cover of Vogue. That's not the one that she wanted. She wanted the one with the gold background in the pale blue business suit. And it showed authority, a vision of a beautiful woman representing in the White House. This one, she looks beautiful in this, but she thought it would be more of the insert inside the magazine because it's representing her sorority, a.k.a., and she loved her Chuck's gym shoes. That should not have been on the cover. That picture we're looking at right now should have been on the cover. A lot of people, more so African Americans, are upset about that because it's like you did her wrong for that. This is her moment. She's gracing Vogue. She really, that just does not look presidential at all. She's a vice presidential. She did not get her bed of roses as a vice president to represent. And this is happening a couple of days, a week before the inauguration. So it's like, really, this is the way you guys want us to see it. So the flip side of this, a lot of people would say, well, it's not that bad. Yeah, it is, because it wouldn't been that way if it was someone else in that position. Don't like it. And the reason I don't like it even more is because that's not what she wanted. So you took upon yourself, Vogue, to say, oh, let's put the other one. It will reach more people. This is more like how she is. She's relaxed. Yeah, she is, but you should have known better. And it was a black, you can. And it was a black photographer that took the picture, but he, no offense to him, he didn't do a good job of the picture. So what's your comments on that, Ray?
Well, I saw some comments on there, and at first when I saw this story, Brenda was talking to me about it, and I'm like, it's really not that important to me.
For a black woman?
So at first when I saw this thing and I was talking to Brenda, I was saying this is not that important to me. But, now looking at the story, hearing a little bit more about it, I can understand the issue with it. It does not, put her in a presidential, vice presidential look well as that one does. I wasn't really upset about that because she's still the vice president of the United States. There are billionaires out there and that look like bums and they don't really care. But this is what she wanted. I don't know if there was. I'm wondering.
What do you mean? This is what she wanted.
This is what she wanted. That picture. That picture. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm looking at. I don't know if it was just a mistake.
No, it wasn't.
It was that they decided to go against her choice.
Yes, they did.
So they decided to go against her choice.
She said that she liked the gold one, and she thought the picture with her sorority colors would be in the insert in the magazine.
But did they tell her, no, we're going to go with this?
No, they just did it.
So understand, I'm going to leave it up to Vogue that there was just some kind of a mistake that the decision of what pictures shouldn't have been put in there, because if they did it on purpose, it's not gonna look good for Vogue, because you're going against one of the second most powerful person in the United States right now within the next couple of days, and it's not a good look. So I don't know what they can do to change it, though. What do you suggest that they do to change it?
They're not going to change.
But I'm just saying, what can they do? It's too late now. The thing is out there.
Right. It's already out and they can't take it back. It's already been published. And that's what I'm saying is I can't even say it was lack of communication, because she stressed she had great communication skills, so she told them what she wanted. So I'm just shocked that somebody decided to do their own thing. I don't know why my phone decided to go.
There's a ghost.
Okay. But anyway, like I said, on both covers, she looks beautiful, but that second one with the sorority is too relaxed. It's not her power pose, and she's always going to be remembered for that, because you don't get a second take with that, a do-over. This is it, and that's what it's going to be.
I understand the thing about it, but hey, you're still the vice president of the United States. It doesn't look as becoming as you want it to look, but hey, just look at it this way. You're going to be the coolest African-American first lady ever on Vogue. How about that? I'm going to go high
Not
road.
with that bitch.
I'm going to go high road. She look cool.
Yeah, she do look cool, but that ain't the point. That's not the thing she was going for. And I'm a stickler for that. We're doing designs and stuff. If a person say, hey, can you change this? We're going to try. I try to hear about what people are asking and requesting. Whereas that's what she did. And it's like, wow, so that's blatant disrespect. I told you which one I want, and you going with which one you think fits the Vogue magazine better. And the point why I'm stressing this, everyone, Vogue is a glamour magazine. It's nothing glamorous about that AKA cover. That first one was glamorous and professional.
I don't want you to go up in the tantrum with this, but
that's what I said. That's on soror. Yeah, she could be in the inside.
I don't want you going to tantrum of this, but did they say anything at Vogue about apologies or anything like that?
They didn't even get the call them back. They was calling to reach out to them, her camp, Kamala's camp, to reach out to them. Ain't heard nothing back from Bo.
Well, that's going to be a story to come back to because it's going to be interesting. You got any? How we looking, Philip? We got some time for another story?
You got like, you got like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, now this one tickled me. For all you cannabis lovers out there, researchers are looking at cannabis as a potential way to prevent COVID-19. I bet these people are happy if it could work. Now, 2 Canadian researchers think that a special strain of the cannabis might potentially be a valuable tool in the fight against COVID-19. Well, do you think that could happen, Rick?
I just wish Tracy was here because I would be able to say, what do you think, puff, puff, pass? I haven't said puff, puff, pass in a long time.
Puff, here you go.
You know, puff, puff, pass. That's what I
Yeah,
call
we used to
Tracy
do that all the
sometimes. He's
time.
called a puff, puff, pass. I just think that there's maybe about 30 or 40 million people in the world right now that are going to claim that they may have some kind of COVID issues just so they can get some of this cannabis. It's just another way for people to get cannabis into their system somehow without needing some kind of a doctor's license. I don't know how that's going to take care of COVID because COVID is fluid that goes into the lungs. I don't know how that cannabis is going to help with that. But if it's some way that they can do that, more power to it. But I just think that the people of cannabis is just trying to find another way to get more people to buy their product.
Anna said, okay, everyone will be flying high, and they will be.
That's the old song, I'm flying high.
Yeah, I remember that one. Now, this says that it all comes down to our body's ACE2 receptors, which work sort of like doorways into our bodies for the virus. And in the case of the Kovachuk's words, cannabis would be used to decrease the level of ACE2 gene expression, essentially temporarily closing the doors to the virus. That's interesting because the COVID was any little speckle or spit or whatever, this will be contracting it, they're saying. That it won't even get to that point.
So these are doctors that are saying this?
These are
Okay.
Canadian researchers.
It's interesting. I mean, I don't think that's going to be something that we're going to be using for the cure of COVID anytime soon because it's got to go through a lot of research. And it's they've got a lot of vaccinations out there now that they're working with. I think there's about 3 of them out right now that we're working with. The unfortunate thing about with the vaccines that we have right now, we can't get into people's arms. So I mean, I guess if somebody can take a little cannabis, you can get that from anywhere. But we got to be careful with this, and hopefully that people are safe and they're not being like Trump and just start swallowing cannabis and think it's going to cure COVID. They say I could take some weed and stick it in my mouth. Or I'm smoking this because I'm trying to keep away COVID.
Well, Miss Hessel says we might all need marijuana after these 4 years.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Gone puff pass.
That is so true. That little thing that you putting up there is driving me crazy because I can't see the screen.
What little thing?
The stuff that he has up there.
So Twitch and Facebook and everyone can interact with each other because if you're on Twitch,
Is that Twitch is there that's active?
Yeah,
okay, that's good. As long as you can see it.
I can see it on here. Well, you don't.
I don't see them. I can't see them on my phone. But that's an interesting subject. I don't know if we have any time for anything else. LP, what we looking at?
Exactly 5 minutes.
I got exactly 5 minutes now?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
5 minutes.
You're like 4 minutes. 3 minutes and 55 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
You're going down in a few minutes. You're going to say, start now.
Well, I think
I'll
through
let you know.
all of my topics that I was talking about. Okay, people, answer this. Let's just have a one-on-one discussion. Respond to this. For the next few days, what are you going to do? For the new people out here, we had a great discussion on Christian Real, your word for the year. Calling you out by name, Stephen, Smitty, Anna, because you was on here earlier on thing. What is your word for this year that's going to carry you through? because like I said earlier, starting on the 16th, they said to the 20th, it's about to get crazy. So you're going to need a word, whether a scripture or a singular word to help you make it through. What is your word?
And I'm going to throw out this when you think about your word. What is your word for what happened at the Capitol? What do you think about that? Tell me what you thought about that. Twitch people out there, we got a new thing called Twitch. I want y'all to say something. Even if y'all just say, I don't want to listen to the show. Say something.
Say something. Stephen said patience is his word for the year. Yeah, we've been learning to have patience, all right, but we really going to need it. And then, I'm not saying that to put fear in people, but I really think the next few months is going to be the hardest of what we endured in 4 years, because it's really, this mess has really came out. Anna says faith, Smitty says steadfast, and insurrection from Stephen as well.
Insurrection, okay. Is that talking about what's going on at the Capitol with insurrection? I think, the word for this year is very important. We talked about that. If you're going to have a word, it has to be something that you allow to live in your spirit. May my blood run cold. What happened at Capitol? May my blood run cold. What happened at Capitol? I don't understand that.
You said a word for what happened last week, and she telling you how she felt. It made her blood run cold seeing that.
Oh, made my blood. Yeah, it was. It was sad to see. You don't look for your thing. The thing is.
You got Steven calling.
Yeah, you got to pick it up.
Yep.
And then you got to hit the phone thing on the other side.
Phone thing on the other side? Where?
Yeah, see where it says phone on the mixer?
I sure don't.
It's a white button that says phone.
Sure
See the white little thing that says phone?
Does that say phone?
Yeah, come on over here.
So, but you know what? That is just so on point, Anna, because it was, like I said earlier, it reminded me so much of something out of a movie,
Steven, are you there?
a horror movie. Because it's like when you see people scaling the walls to break into something, it's horrible. It's like, who does that and who helped you to orchestrate that? Because you can't tell me these men are that smart and said in a meeting, as I say, a KKK meeting, and said that we're going to do this. We're going to get this together. They had the green light. I don't care. Nobody said. They had the green light from their president that had some special people within the Capitol to help them out, because again, I say the word for that was chaos, turmoil, stupidity. It's just, seriously, people, this is what we have to go through. And I'm gonna even go to Betty Shabal's coming out. I'm even gonna go one even further. It was an individual of some melanin that they kept showing, which I hope they was just doing a Photoshop, putting him in there. When I seen that individual, Anna, that made my blood curl, because it's like, we don't roll like that. We just don't do that. And we wouldn't even have a chance to do that. So that's just me saying that. Betty Shabal's coming out while they working on all of this stuff. But it aggravates me that...
We're back on the air right now.
Look at his great
All right,
tan.
everybody, welcome back to Let's Stay Together Talk Show. Hey, Steven, I'm going to need you to call me back on my original phone here, because we're having some issues. So call me back on my telephone number, and we'll try to find out what's going on that part, okay?
No problem.
So I'm going to cancel this out. Steven's going to call me back on the phone there. Steven, call me back on my cell phone, and we'll talk to you from there. So welcome back to Let's Stay Together Talk Show. Hope you enjoyed the music that we're playing. Twitch people, I want to hear you out there. I definitely want to hear you out there. So Twitch people, give me a call. So hey, as we do all the time at about this time, about 8 o'clock, we do the best of theater. We have Stephen Best that comes out and talks to us and let us know what's going on in the theater world. Stephen has a plethora of knowledge. He goes everywhere, scouring the world to find just small tidbits about the theater world that you need to know. So ladies and gentlemen, as I pub this as well as I can, here is my friend, Stephen Best. Stephen, how you doing?
I am well. Good evening, my friends. How are the two of you?
I'm doing fine. Is that okay over there?
Yeah, you're good.
Go ahead, Stephen. What you got for me?
Okay, perfect. Well, we've got some new news.
Hold it close to
Everything
the
again,
mic.
we're still virtual, but we'll start
And
here
turn
in
up a little
Chicago.
bit.
The American Blues Theater has a new Zoom reading this Friday night, January 15th at 7 p.m. And the play is called The Lion. And this is a compelling story about 19th century's most famous African-American civil rights activist, Frederick Douglass. The tickets are a suggested price of $10 and up, but it is a pay-as-you-can Zoom reading again this Friday, January 15th, and you just need to go to American Blues Theater for more details for purchasing tickets. Also new from our good friends at Steppenwolf Theater, the globally renowned Steppenwolf. Their third in a series of 6 virtual plays. This is titled Red Folder. Debuts in just 2 weeks, January 27th. This will feature Steppenwolf actress Carrie Coon with illustration from the writer of the play, ensemble member Rajiv Joseph. Again, this is the third in a 6 series of productions, and at steppenwolf.org, you can get all 6 for the low price of $75. There is also a discounted amount if you are a teacher or an arts performer. But Steppenwolf still creating new content in the new year. Also new this week, Northlight Theater, our friends up at Northlight, is going to do a free play reading called Such Small Hands, directed by B.J. Jones, featuring Rondi Reed and Francis Gideon. And it's going to be Sunday, January 31st. And for tickets to this, again, it's free, but you do need to register for tickets. You go to northlight.org, and then followed for Such Small Hands is the title of that play. Congo Square Theater Company. The Congo Square Theater Company is the premier African-American theater company here in Chicago, has just announced a 3-day virtual festival celebrating the arts titled Festival on the Square. This is going to be the first week in February 4th through the 6th, honoring directors Ron O.J. Carson and Les Coney. And again, this is free to the CongoSquareTheater.org for the details. And again, this is going to be a free weekend of content and events. Along the same lines, Victory Garden Theater has also announced an evening of multiple 10-minute plays written by Windy City playwrights, February 12th at 7 p.m. It's a one-night only free event. You go to victorygardens.org for the new play festival. Now, they normally do this, again, live every year. This year it's going to be virtual, and some of the artists who will be participating is Lillian Brown, Brian Balcom, Preston Choi, and Devin DeMaio, among others. So I like that new content is still being crafted and created, and it's just being brought out there in a new way. And speaking of bringing things out in a new way, we go from specifically Chicago. This one is Broadway and New York themed. As you may or may not have seen on the news, Governor Andrew Cuomo has a plan to revive New York's art scene and to bolster the economy, which everybody knows was shut down due to the coronavirus pandemic. So under the banner of the New York Arts Revival, over 150 artists are participating. The big names include, of course, Tony Award winner Hugh Jackman, Renee Fleming, comedian Amy Schumer, comedian Chris Rock, and more. They're going to do pop-up art performances and individual concerts starting the second week of February, with more details to come. This was just announced today. And quite honestly, I don't think it's going to be traditional concerts. I think they're going to go in the empty theaters and have, an artist do a comedy set or someone else do a concert. Again, they were lackluster on the details, but I like this idea. And again, this just shows New York's commitment to the multiple billion-dollar Broadway industry that was completely ground to a halt almost a year ago. I believe it was March 15th when everything stopped to coronavirus. And the last thing I will announce and now this one is in London, but announced today the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child play, which is also normally playing on Broadway in New York. That is currently on shutdown. They have just announced that it's going to be suspending performances until July 18th, 2021. So looks like London's not even going to get back their theaters aren't going to get back to entertaining audiences until July. Now, you may or may not remember about a month ago, they thought that they could go back in. They reopened shows, socially distanced. I know the cast of 6 was very public on their performances, but that only lasted for about a week and a half until London went to tier 3 because of, again, another spike in the coronavirus. So the need is there, and the want is there, but we just need to get those vaccines first. And I know, I mean, on a personal note, I know the 3 of us discussed would we be first in line to get that vaccine, and I was, at the time, I was very hesitant to do so, but now, I mean, we've almost been shut down a year. As soon as I am able to get the vaccine, and based on my age, I think it's going to be late summer before I even get the option to go do it, but I think I will happily do it to try to get some normality back, because theater just will not exist and as we used to know it until we can get coronavirus, until we can get the epidemic in hand. And the only way to do that as audience members is to take the vaccine and probably be wearing masks for another year.
Hey, so Stephen,
I don't need to add on a downer, or I don't need to end on a downer, but that is it for my Best of Theater Talk this week.
Stephen, talk to me about, what is this thing with Harry Potter? What was the name of that again?
It is the Harry Potter plays. It is called Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. It is actually a 2-part play that in New York, it ends up being, okay, I saw it on a Sunday, it ends up being about 5.5 hours of theater. There are 2 individual plays that run for about 2.5 hours each, but they continue the story. So there's a part 1 and a part 2, and there are 2 days, at least in Broadway in New York, there are 2 days a week, and those days were Wednesday and Sunday, where the performers would do the first part in the matinee, and then the evening show would be the conclusion. For the rest of the week, you would either get the part 1 or the part 2, but you would have to then buy another ticket and go back to see the chunk of the story that you are missing, which is why this, I mean, I know we're getting a little off topic, but which is why I don't think this play can ever really tour outside of being on the West End in London and being in Broadway in New York, because the average theater goer is not going to sit through almost 6 hours of theater in one day. I mean, that's a lot to ask of the actors, that's certainly a lot to ask of the audience members, but that is how that show works. It is a continuation of the Harry Potter story.
But Stephen, let me ask you this. I've never heard of The Cursed Child as one of those stories.
Okay, now here's the thing. It actually won.
Because was that one of the 6 or 7 that was out there?
No, this is a continuation of the story.
Oh, that's what I thought.
It's its own original entity, sort of. Gosh, for lack of a better word, almost like fan fiction, in that it focuses on Harry Potter's son and Hermione's daughter. Only it's played by actors of multiple races. That when the casting was initially announced, I mean, boy, we're really getting off topic here. When the casting was initially announced, there were several people who were offended that the actress who would play the Hermione daughter was played by an African American woman who ended up winning the Tony Award, I might add. But yes, it's its own original Harry Potter property, and it is a live play that was again in West End in London and on Broadway in New York, called Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
All right, hey, thanks.
I have
thanks a lot.
Before you go, we have a question. Mary wants to know, ask Stephen, how do we get more info about the Broadway revival? She didn't catch the website address.
Oh, truth be told, that was from New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. It was just announced today, so they don't even have full details on that. But it is called. There will be pop-up performances and truthfully, I think these are going to be done as fundraisers, so they're going to want as many eyes on these projects as possible. So there will be a virtual, I'm assuming there will be some sort of virtual element in which you can buy a ticket and watch, much like all of these productions are doing here in Chicago, to see these nationwide. So as soon as more details are announced, I will be happy to share them with you. But this truly was just announced this morning.
All right. Hey, Stephen, thanks as always for giving us that information.
No problem. You guys have a great night.
All right.
You too. Thanks.
Hey, everybody. Once again, that's Stephen Best and the Best of Theater. Good information out there. I knew that Harry Potter thing, I've never heard of the Cursed Child, so that's a little bit different. Wow, look, isn't it interesting? The thing is a little bit behind. So that's some interesting information to know. Once again, that's Stephen Best and the Best of Theater. We'll give you that every Tuesday at around 8 o'clock. So let's go on with our thing that we're going to be talking about. Was going to be relationship letters first. Mm-hmm. All right, so what do you have today for relationship letters? Before I go on, if anybody wants to send a relationship letter to Let's Stay Together Talk, you can go to letsstaytogethertalk@gmail.com. That's letsstaytogethertalk@gmail.com, baby.
And I really want some comments back on this one. Dear LSTT, I've been dating my guy for over 4 years. We are well into our 30s, so there's no excuse that we're too young. We have to finish our education. Both of us have lucrative careers, and neither one of us has any children. So she's saying no excuse of getting married. His excuse is COVID because he knows I wanted to have a big wedding. At this point, it really doesn't matter about the wedding. I just want my guy to propose to me so that we can get married sooner than later. To my knowledge, I don't have any reasons to suspect that he has cheated on me. He seems very devoted and faithful in our relationship. Plus, we live together. LSTT, am I missing some vital information to why he isn't interested in marrying me? Sincerely, girlfriend still in waiting to change her position. What you think about that, Rick?
So I missed a little about that. So she's worried about him cheating on her? Is that what she said?
No. She been dating a guy for 4 years. They have no excuse not to get married. They've, got the lucrative careers going, educated. Neither one of them have children. His excuse now is COVID because he knew she wanted the big wedding. She reaffirmed it. I don't want a big wedding now due to COVID. It's like, I just want you. So she want to know, is she missing something?
So she wants to get married, and he's saying that the reason why is because of COVID?
Yeah.
Is she missing anything? Yeah, the fact that he doesn't want to marry her. That's what you're missing. He's just using COVID as an excuse. I mean, I can understand some people saying that they don't want to get married this year because of COVID. Maybe because they want a large wedding. But that would typically come from the female. Mm-hmm. Saying, I want to wait till my family can come and blah, 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 blah. And you're like, dude, no. But when a man is sitting up there saying, I don't want to marry you because of COVID, heck, I could save $10,000 getting married at the time of COVID because it's just going to be me, you, and the judge with, mask on, It's not going to make that much of a difference. So I think that basically, the thing that she's missing is that the fact that he does not want to get married to her. And if they're living with each other, there's that old saying, why pay for the cow when you get the milk free?
Yeah, and that's the way I'm saying that. It's too many times as women, we make it so easy for them. It's like, you living with him. I'm not sure if it was 3 years, 2 years, but you're living with him. He's comfortable. But the thing I do know for a fact is when a man want to marry you, he going to let you know. It could be 6 weeks in, 6 years out. If you hang around that long, he gonna let you know. But this dude is giving her every excuse. Now, some of the comments been, hello, time to move on or continue to wait. He's okay with her living, with them living together. And also, you could have a small wedding, during this time. Miss Erica Williams, thank you for joining the McCain train. She said, weddings are shows and has nothing to do with the marriage itself. No reason to wait, which it isn't. Another comment from Miss Silla was, there isn't a... Oh, okay, that was another one. But, yeah, I think he's stringing you along until he finds somebody he want to marry, because this is a classic case to me that a person dates somebody a long time. Once they break up and you see him in 6 months, he engaged to someone, and it's like, where did she come from in 6 months? Always remember 2 things: he knew what he wanted from that new person, or she been there all along. So those are my facts on there, and everybody's in agreement. You could still have a wedding if you really wanted one. He really is not showing signs that he wants you for his wife.
Yeah, because when a man wants to marry someone, he'll let you know. He will definitely let you know. But if he's not really interested in doing that, or in a lot of cases, you might be the one he's with, but you're not the one he wants.
Oh, okay. Another comment from Smitty was, if he wants to take their commitment to the next level, the man would mess in that direction.
He would move in that direction.
Okay, moving. Well, I'm saying mess, but I'm thinking, is that a new code or something? But yeah, men know what they want. Look, I don't know about y'all. Y'all might be using new code. Men know what they want, ladies. So I'm glad she wrote to us, girlfriend, still waiting to change.
He would lead the relationship in that direction. He's absolutely right. When a man wants to marry you, when a man loves a woman, when he loves you, he'll move you. Hey, baby, it's almost like Beyonce, put a ring on it. He wants to put a ring on it, he will. Now, if you constantly saying, when we gonna get married, if you got to say, are we there yet, all the time, you're not there yet.
Yeah, and you won't be there with him. That's just it. You won't be there with him.
It's like, it's almost like, that song, Hit the Road, Jack, and Don't You Come Back No More. It might be time for you to say to him, play that Beyonce song in the house, and let him know that he need to put a ring on it. And then, there's another song that we played earlier, You Abandoned Me, Love Don't Live Here Anymore. You might want to move on and then tell him, hit the road, Jack, or that old soul, see you later, alligator. I got them all. I'm telling you, I got them all.
You sure do. We ain't playing none of these today? Or you didn't know what the letter was?
I played Love Don't Live Here Anymore earlier. I don't know. Steven said something out here. I don't have time to reply to your previous topic. The 20-year-old friend who smoked the great deal of pot. I don't know what he's talking about. He's talking about something else.
Talking about the COVID.
Oh, he's talking about the COVID thing, yeah. Okay. So that is our relationship letter that we have for today. Mr. LP Productions, go into that track in there. Just find any song, and I'm just going to have you throw it out there when we end the show. But that is our relationship letter for today. Again, if you have a desire to send a relationship letter, we appreciate everyone that sends it out to us. If you have a desire to send a relationship letter out to us, send it to Let's Stay Together Talk Show at gmail.com. You don't have to give us your real name. You can give us a fictitious name, like most people are doing.
Yeah, because they do not give their real name.
And you can just send it out to us. Once again, you can send it to Let's Stay Together Talk Show at gmail.com. Hey, baby, what is going on with Club 50?
Okay, last week, because some of you guys might have noticed
you didn't start this right this time.
Oh, okay. Hello, Golden Divas.
Hello.
Thank you, darling. Last week, some of you guys asked me, where was Club 50? And I was elated that you reached out to me and asked about that, because it's supposed to have been the big Golden Diva interview featuring my heart, Ernestine Davis. But due to some unforeseen circumstances, I have to push it back probably another week or so until we can completely do it, because I really want to give her her just due. I mean, had everything in order, but a death occurred in her family, so I have to do a pushback and wait on that, because this is a dynamic interview that's coming up. As a matter of fact, a young lady that's on here tonight, Erica Williams, shout out to you, is going to be one of my other Golden Divas for that. But because I'm coming after you, Erica. But the next one, for tomorrow is a good one. It's all about the Bridgerton. So for those who know the name of what I'm talking about, the new Netflix series by Shonda Rhimes, excellent. It's a Regency piece. So please read this, and if you haven't seen this show, you will be addicted to it. So it's already set to go for me to push a button in the morning for you to see that. So again, join me tomorrow on Club 50 and read all about the Bridgerton. We have I have a video clip for you, an audio clip, and some nice pictures for you to follow along with this epic series because it is dynamic. So again, you can check this out at theclub50.com.
So I'm still waiting for you to do this story about the first ladies.
That's probably going to be
playing music right now.
No, I'll let you know.
the three ladies.
Yeah, the three.
That's
ladies.
going to be next week, right on
That's
time for inauguration.
Okay, so I'm not going to spoil
I know,
it.
I heard
but
you.
that's a good story because
It
they're
is.
all Club 50 ladies.
Yeah, they are.
You know, so
and that's going to be hitting it next week. We have to line it
That's
right
gonna-
up.
that's
It's
gonna
going to be on that day of inauguration.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing. So once again, thank you for Club 50. Also, for those of you who are listening to the radio show and didn't hear the commercial, Brenda has Ife products out there. She does some great banners and posters and flyers.
Like the
you
airline
need.
people.
You know, whatever you need, it's there. Yeah, that banner right there was done by Brenda. Most of the banners that we have there are pictures of Brenda. So if you're interested in finding out more about how you can purchase your own specially custom designed banner, go to ifedesigns@gmail.com. Once again, that's email. It says Ife, not email. Ife. That's EFAYE. It's not. Oh, it's no E in there, right? So spell it for me.
E capital FAY designs DESIGNS. And my middle name doesn't have an E at the end.
Okay, so what you can do is put your thing out there for us so we can see it out there on Facebook. So type it out there. So ifedesigns@gmail.com. You can get the information. She does some excellent banners. They are just they're a good job. My money's going well. I invested well in this. So I'm still waiting for my return. I'm not gonna be like Deutsche Bank. I'm not gonna forgive the loan. You still owe me for some of these things, and the interest is climbing.
Valentine's Day coming too. I just want to say that if you want a special card, mail, or flyer, talk to me. I'm done.
She's talking about you. Anna's talking about you could be a flight attendant because of what you was doing with your hands.
That's what I was trying to do.
So that's another beautiful banner. She did that one back there as well. So. And you can see them, and it looks very beautiful. So, once again, hey everybody, we're kind of close to the close of our show. We're gonna be ending it. The song you got there. How many minutes you got that I can know how many?
4 minutes and 6 seconds.
4 minutes and 6 seconds. We got enough time to talk. So hey, we're gonna let this song play out. We're gonna end our show in a second. I gotta let it be about 8:27. So that song doesn't end before we get over. Baby, got anything else you want to say before we end the show?
Again, happy birthday to Jarrell's wife. Thank you, LP Production. Thank you for all the people that joined us tonight. I know Mary's not new to us, but she came and checked in with us. Vanessa, thank you. Erica, Steven, of course, Anna, and everybody else over the two S's, Stephen and Sheldon and Kenneth. Thank you. I'm shouting out the names that I know this up here right now, but for the ones that came in earlier, thank you for joining us. And for the people in Radio Land, we have not forgotten you. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
So Mary's going to say, I don't know how her middle name is. I know how the middle name is. I didn't know if she put it in there or not. So, yeah, shame on me.
Hey, I hate to
for
cut
not
you
knowing
off,
that.
but this next song is "Don't Make Me Wait for Love" by Kenny G. We're coming up really close on our time here, so I want to get this song out
That's
there.
okay. Well, the song that has to play all the way through. I don't really care about that because we're ending the show. But hey, we're about to get ready to get off of the show. This is Rick McCain along with my baby, my girl, my boo, Arthur Ben McCain, Tracy Brown Howard. It's Social Distancing. Listen up to this song. What's the song again?
"Don't Make Me Wait for Love" by Kenny G.
Don't Make Me Wait for Love by Kenny G. LP Productions, do your thing. We'll see you next Tuesday, 6:30. Woo-hoo! All right, now look at this. This boy he got it on point.
Give me a high five.
He's like, I don't want to cut you off, but you got to. I like that. I mean, 'cause that keeps me not to have to worry about anything. So, hey, everybody, we're going to get out of here. We see you next Tuesday, 6:30. Hey, tell a friend about it. Facebook people, YouTube. I need to be some people on YouTube. Twitch. I want you to say something. Just say, hey, I don't like that bald-headed guy. Say something. I don't care. Say something. See you next Tuesday.
We go.
It's up to you. You gotta close it out.
I mean, I was asking you if the show.
I'm through.
All right, cool. I'm in the show.
I am through. Let that music play because it's got to play until
Yeah.
to 8:30.
Man, I really can't find the